Hello folks, I'm back here with the Megadrive again for another instalment, and what I want to do with it this time is improve the picture quality. So I've been running it through RF, but there is a DIN socket at the back of this and it will output a higher quality picture. So I had a look on eBay and you can get the AV leads for £3 or £4 thereabouts, but they're only outputting a composite video signal. Really, I want RGB, and the system will do that. I just need to build a cable for it. So, not my design, completely somebody else's, but I've downloaded what I think is a compatible circuit, and I think I've got all the parts I need. I've got my resistors, my capacitors, my socket, and it was actually cheaper to buy a pre-made SCART socket and then butcher one end of it than it was to actually buy the individual connectors and cables. So that's what I've done. That was like £2 or £3, something like that, delivered. So yeah, that's the plan. Build a cable. Let's see if we can pop that open. Lovely. Right, okay, so I've got my diagram for a SCART layout. We're looking at it from the back, and I need composite video input, which is pin 20, which is there. What do I need to connect to that? That goes straight through to composite video on pin 3, so that can stay as it is. I can just terminate that at the other end. Let's not worry about the grounds for now. Right, I've got 5 volts coming out of the Megadrive, and I need to connect that to pin 8, then through a 180 ohm resistor to pin 16, and the pin 16 I think is the blanking pin, so that tells the TV what mode to switch into. So if it gets the right voltage, it'll switch it straight into RGB mode, I think. So pin 16, RGB blanking, yeah it is. Okay, that's fine. That needs a 180 ohm resistor. Now, when I ordered the parts, I misread the values and I ordered a 100 ohm resistor. But what I've done is I've got a 75 ohm and a 100 ohm, and the values are just slightly out. When you put them together you get 180 ohms, so I think that's close enough. So it's a bit of a bodge, but I'm going to use 2. Yeah, so let's do that. That'll be that one. Right there. Cool. Let's just, there we go. Let's tin you up. So that's me pin 16 bodged. If I bought the right resistor in the first place I wouldn't have had to do that, but I didn't, so I've done that. Okay, just a bit of heat shrink as well, just to protect it. Let's do the RGB. So let's start with pin 7, which is the blue input. So that is that one. Come on out. So for each of the RGB, we're going to need a 75 ohm resistor and a 220 microfarad capacitor. So, got my caps, hope they're small enough. Clearly the negative is going to want to sit on the output. Right, I will do that 2 more times for the green and the red. Yep, amazingly it's all gone back in. It's not pretty, but then I'm a hobbyist, I'm not a professional. I mean, you wouldn't pay for this, but there it is. Anyway, I should be able to close this end up now, and all my other connections can be made from the DIN socket. So I'll call it a night here because it's getting late and I need to get up for work. Yeah, I'll finish this tomorrow after work. Cool. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I've had a chance to look at this because, you know, life gets in the way, as it does. But I've already finished this end of the plug. So for the RGB connections, I've got my 75 ohm resistors in series with 220 microfarad capacitors. I've got a 5-volt in connection going to pin 16, and that's going through a 180 ohm resistor. In fact, no, it's not. It's going through 2 resistors that add up to 180 ohms. That will form a divider circuit with the internal resistance on the TV, and that will give a voltage of about 1.3, 1.4 volts, which is the signal required to tell the TV that it's looking for an RGB source, and it'll switch the TV into the correct mode. So that end is done. I've identified all the cables I need here. So I've got my audio connection, I've got my ground, I've got my switch. Now the switch, what that does is it tells the TV that the input's active. So for those of you who still have DVD players or Blu-ray players plugged into your TV, you switch it on, your TV automatically switches to that input. That's what the switch does, and it requires a 12-volt input. Megadrive doesn't have a 12-volt input, it's got a 5-volt input, so this may or may not work. I don't know. I'm tempted not to connect this at all. I'm quite happy to press the button on the remote control and switch the inputs. I'm really not worried about that, so I might just leave that off altogether. That's my RGB, and that's my composite video. I just need to solder it all onto this plug. And I think what I'm going to invest in is one of those helping hands, you know, with the stand and the crocodile clips. Don't have one at the moment, so this is a blob of Rodico that I actually use for watch repair, and I've just sort of wodged the plug into that, so I'll just solder it directly there. Anyway, let's get going. Right, sorry, but I found that virtually impossible to film around while doing, so I did it off camera. But it's done. It's not my neatest work, but I'm hoping it'll work. I don't know. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 of working. I don't know. We'll see. Let's try it, I suppose. Well, nothing left to do but give it a go, I suppose. Okay, let's hook it up. Right, I did wire the switch in, so it'll be interesting. I've got this on RF at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if it does switch in or not, or if it works at all, I don't know. Oh, it's always a bit scary, isn't it, when you first switch something on after doing something like that. We switched. Well, we had a picture then. Hang on. Oh no, there we go. Okay, it seems to give a picture. Have we got any sound? Yes. Well, that seems to work. Excellent. Oh, well, that's better. Picture looks fine. I don't know, I was expecting maybe something a little bit more crisp, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a Megadrive, isn't it? It seems fine. Getting a bit sick of this game, I must admit. Excellent. Well, that was a success. Right, I think it's about time I had a look at these rather disgusting control pads. They're absolutely filthy. That one's a bit cleaner because I've been using it. Probably shouldn't have been, but there you go. Yeah, I feel like I need a tetanus shot every time I touch these things, so I'm gonna clean them up. They don't feel damaged or broken or anything like that, so they might be fine just for a good clean. Let's see if we can get inside. Okay. So, cover. Can I pop this cable out and pop this board out? Should be able to. There we go. Yeah, it's like quite a common design, so it's these little carbon pads on rubber plungers, so they can all be cleaned up. Oh, everything's disgusting. Will that separate? Yes, it will. Okay. I can't see anything broken, so that's a good start. I think all it really wants is a good clean, so... yeah. Little bit of IPA on the board. These can go in a soapy bath, and that should be all it needs. I'll strip the other controller down the same way, and I'll get it all in some soak. Excellent. Right, for the cable, I think I'm going to use that most universal of cleaners, and that's a baby wipe. I think that'll be good enough. Oh yeah, that's not good. Yuck. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a few goes until it comes up clean. Little bit of IPA on the board. Well, that's better. Everything's nice and clean. I'm not scared to touch it now. So everything's clean. Let's put it back together. So, D-pad first, I think. There are the buttons. And that. That just pushes through like that. It's an odd setup. Now, when I washed this, I washed off, there was some grease put on by the factory, so there's a little bit there, and just where it pivots there. So obviously that's not there anymore, I just need to reapply that. So I've got a little bit of silicone grease. Let's just put a blob in. Without overdoing it, which I might have done. That'll do. Feels about the same. Actually, that D-pad feels a bit better, I would say. Maybe that bit of grease has helped a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put the other one back together. I'm going to do it in the same way, and I'll bring you back when that's done and we'll give it a test. Yeah, so I've finished cleaning the controllers and they're all back together, and I'm just testing them now. Tested the first one, this is the second one. And yeah, they feel fine. I'm not scared to handle them now because they're not disgusting anymore. And they do feel a bit more responsive as well, and I don't know whether they actually are, or I'm just perceiving it that way because they're clean, I don't know. The D-pad definitely feels better, and I think renewing that bit of grease has really helped. Yeah, I'm happy. Ha! So I've picked up one of these things, and it's one of those cartridges with a built-in SD card reader, so you can preload all the games that you have onto it. It's quite a nifty little thing. It's one of those eBay purchases. It wasn't massively cheap, and it was advertised as an EverDrive, but I'm not convinced. It might well be a genuine EverDrive, I don't know, but it's actually labelled a Megadrive. But whatever, it seems to work just fine. Allow me to demonstrate. So it's a bit of a tight fit to get in. It only just fits the cartridge slot. We'll boot that up. And what we've got is we can select the game that's already in the ROM, or we can select the game. And this will take us into a menu system. So it's going to write that to the ROM. And then it's going to boot the game. Excellent. So I'm happy with this system now. I don't think I need to do anything more with it. I've got a complete usable system. I can load all my Mega Drive games onto this cartridge to play. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm not really good at this game, but yeah. Anyway, I think that's as far as I'm going to go with this system in terms of videos. So it's been cleaned, refurbished, recapped, controllers have been sorted. I've got my RGB cable built, and I've got my little EverDrive now. So yeah, there's nothing more to do with it other than game. So I'll leave this video here, and I'll say as always, take care and thank you very much for watching.